We are doing concept of communication. So, we are doing methods of communication. It is how we communicate. It can be either verbal, that is using language, or non-verbal, that is without language. Methods of communication can be classified into verbal and non-verbal. Under verbal, you are having oral and written. Under non-verbal, you are having body language, which is further divided into facial expressions, eye contact, gestures, appearance, and proxemics. Then you are having signs, symbols, and signals. Then you have colors, layout, and design. And finally, you are having silence. Verbal communication. It can be oral, that is spoken. It is the exchange of ideas, information, and message through spoken word. For it, literacy is not required. Anybody can listen and understand. It is speedy transmission. It is very fast. You don't require much time for verbal communication. However, there is scope for misunderstanding. There is no record of communication, so there is no legal validity. You get immediate feedback. Example, lecture or telephone call. The other type of verbal communication is written communication. It is the interchange of message, opinions, and information in written or printed form. For it, you require literacy. If a person does not know how to read and write, he will not be able to understand your message. It is slow transmission. It takes time for communication. However, there is no scope for misunderstanding. Proper records of written communication are maintained. As a result, it has legal validity. It is accepted as proof in the court of law. However, you get delayed feedback. Examples are newsletter and email. Under nonverbal communication, the first one is body language. In body language, first you have facial expressions. Facial expressions are universal for happiness, sadness, anger, surprise, fear, disgust across cultures. Then we come to the eye contact. It is the visual sense. Through your eye contact, you can convey interest, affection, hostility, or attraction. Next, we are having gestures. These are the unconscious use of body parts such as hands to wave, point, beacon, or emphasize one's point while arguing. Gestures are culture specific. Next, we are having appearance. It includes dress and grooming. It creates the image of the speaker in the mind of the audience, and in turn, it influences the effectiveness of presentation. Last one, we come to the proxemics. Proxemics is a study of human use of space and the efforts that population density has on our behavior, communication, and social interaction. Please note down all these points. Facial expressions, they are universal. Eye contact is visual sense. Gestures are culture specific. Appearance creates the image of the speaker. Proxemics, use of space. Should I change the slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So the first one, facial expressions. Now see, you have different photographs of Amitabh Bachchan, and in each photograph you have a different expression. And you can understand what is conveyed through his expression. Okay, so some time ago, this particular teaser of a film had gone viral, and you can see Priya Warrior, who is the heroine of the film, over here. You can see the eye contact. It is showing interest. So you have different types of eye contacts. Next, you have gestures. Now see the each gesture. You know its meaning. These gestures are self-explanatory. I will skip this particular video. We will see it later on. Next, we come to the appearance. In appearance, we have dress code. Now see, you have 6 different types of dresses over here. The first one is streetwear. Second one, casual. Third one, business casual. Fourth one, smart casual. Fifth one, informal. And the last one, semi-formal. Now, when you are in any formal situation, you should never go for the first 3 dresses, first 3 type of dresses. Mind you, when we are conducting these online lectures, this is a formal communication. And even though you are sitting at your home, you should not sit in your, home dress, the way you, very casual wear at your home. You have to wear formal dress code, as if you are coming to the college. When you come to the college, how you are dressed, in the same way, you should be sitting in front of your laptop or mobile phone wearing the formal dress code. The second part of appearance is posture. Now, see the 3 positions. First one is forward bend. Last one, it's backward bend. Both are wrong. Your good posture should be straight. It reflects your attitude. Now we are having proxemics. Edward Hall has categorized our use of space in 4 zones. They are, first one, intimate space 0 to 18 inches from our body. Second one, 18 inches to 4 feet from our body. Next one, social space 4 to 12 feet. And the last one, public space 12 feet onwards. When we are in intimate space, we communicate with our close friends and relatives. In personal space, we deal with our other friends and work colleagues. In the social space, we are with our acquaintances, that is the people whom we just know. They are not our friends. And in the public space, we are with strangers or with our superiors or subordinates. The best example of public space is a political rally. The speaker is on the stage and the audiences are sitting in the hall. And if you measure the space, the distance between the speaker and the audiences, it is more than 12 feet. Then we come to signs and signals. All of you are well aware of these signs. So here you have traffic signs: stop, give way, straight, prohibited or no entry, pedestrian prohibited, horn prohibited, no parking, no stopping, speed limit, right hand curve, left hand curve, right hairpin bend, left hairpin bend, narrow road ahead, narrow bridge, pedestrian crossing, school ahead, roundabout, dangerous dip, hump on the hump or rough, barrier ahead. So these are the signs which are pictorial in nature. Same way, you are well aware with the traffic signal. Red means stop, green means go, yellow means be ready. Next, we are having symbols. When you are using your mobile phone, even on your mobile phone, you will find that there are various symbols. For example, this one is for calculator. This is for phone. Again, symbols are pictorial. You don't require language to understand the symbols. Next, colors, layout and design. See this particular picture. All these are natural photographs. And even there you can see such a beautiful use of colors. In the same way, when we are using any symbols or pictures, the colors in those particular pictures mean something. We will see colors in detail later on. Now we come to the silence. Now watch this particular video. Okay, so when you watch this particular video, there is no need to say anything. From the action of that particular person, you understand that he is very angry. Then later on, You, from his facial expressions, you realize that he is also sad. You watch the other people over there, but they don't speak anything. Now, this particular thing is how the silence communicates. Okay, before that, this much is clear to you. Methods of communication we will be dealing in detail later on. This is just the introduction to the concept of communication. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now I'm going to the next one, that is principles of effective communication. Please write down the points. First one, communicate with a purpose. There must be a reason for communication. Second one, compose your message with care. You have to be very specific about your words and symbols or gestures, etc. Compose your message to attract attention. Remove all the barriers to effective communication. These barriers we are going to see in detail. Next, study the receiver. Next, study your medium with care. Next, provide for feedback. Next, act promptly on receiving feedback. Take the necessary action on your feedback. Please note down all the points. Should I change the slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So we come to the summary. So today we are going to finish with your first unit or first topic, that is concept of communication. So what we have seen? First, we have seen the definition. Definition of communication. Communication is an exchange of facts, ideas, opinions, or emotions by two or more persons. Second, elements of communication. You have sender, encoding, message, decoding, receiver, feedback, medium or channel, and barriers. There are total 8 elements. Next, significance of communication. Why communication is important. Next, 3 models of communication. They are transmission, interaction, and transaction. Next, types of communication. interpersonal communication, group communication, and mass communication. Methods of communication, verbal and non-verbal. And the last one, we have seen principles of effective communication. So here we finish with the first topic. Concept of communication. So I repeat, in your attendance form, when it is topic, you have to write concept of communication. I'm just going to run the entire slideshow once again. We are going to recapitulate whatever we have done. Mind you, this is the first unit and this is the basic on which you are going to understand the other parts. Concept of communication. Learning objectives to define communication, to enumerate the elements of communication. Yes,
Yeah.
any problem? To explain the process of communication, to understand the characteristics of human communication, to appreciate significance of communication, to outline the models of communication, to compare and contrast types of communication, to compare and contrast modes or methods of communication. Last one, to identify the principles of effective communication. So, communication comes from the Latin word communis, which means common, communality, or sharing. Where there is no communication, there can't be a community. Definitions of communication. These are the 5 definitions. In the examination, preferably write 2 or 3 definitions. When you are writing the definition, it must be word to word correct. There should not be any change.
मैम इतने सारे डेफिनेशन में सिर्फ 2 to 3 लिखना एग्जाम्पल
5 दिए हैं, उसमें से 2 या 3 लिखो, तुमको जो अच्छा लगेगा वो.
ओके मैम
Then we have elements of communication: sender, encoding, message, medium, and channel. Receiver, decoding, feedback, and barriers. Process of communication. In exam, you are supposed to draw this particular diagram. Don't draw the faces, just write sender and receiver. Encoding process, sender, ideation, organization, execution, speech or writing. Decoding process, listening or reading, recognition, identification, understanding, receiver. Decoding is exactly opposite of encoding. Characteristics of human communication. It is a social and cultural phenomenon. It is a continuous process. It is interrelated and connected. A person communicates as a whole, body, mind, emotions, and thoughts. Need for medium, words, actions, gestures, signs and symbols, etc.
Ma'am, open to the previous page once again.
Sorry?
Ma'am,
Pre-
open previous page once again.
Previous slide.
Yeah.
Even this part we will do in detail later on. In
Okay,
your
ma'am.
first unit, you have just introduction to all the parts. Now methods, barriers, everything we will do in detail. Significance of communication. Solidifying relationships, shaping attitude first and then behavior, inspiring team spirit, fostering innovation through exchange of ideas, increasing sale, retaining the client, implementing strategies, corporate branding, developing global competence, crisis management. Three models of communication: transmission model, interaction model, and transaction model. Types of communication: interpersonal communication, group communication, and mass communication. Mass media, newspaper, radio, television, films, and digital media. Methods of communication: verbal or non-verbal. Verbal, oral, and written. Under non-verbal, first we have body language. It has 5 parts: facial expression, eye contact, gesture, appearance, and proxemics. Gestures. Appearance, dress code, and posture. Proxemics. Edward Hall, 4 zones: intimate, personal, social, and public. Signs and signal. Symbols. Colors, layout, and design. Principles of effective communication. Communicate with a purpose. Compose your message with care. Compose your message to attract attention. Remove all barriers to effective communication. Study the receiver. Study the medium. Provide for feedback. Act promptly on receiving feedback. summary. So here I finished with your first unit, that is concept of communication. I hope all of you have understood. If you have any doubt, you can ask me.
Thank you, ma'am.
All of you,
Thank you, ma'am.
no doubt at all?
No.
Thank you.
No, ma'am, it's
So,
clear. Thank you.
Ma'am, shall we leave now?
yes. So now we are stopping. Our lecture is over.